You're waiting for me to do it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it, yeah.
Bing bong! 2:08 in the PM, live in beautiful San Francisco, California.
That's an impressive radio.
You like that?
There. Yeah, that's great. Wow.
Mike B, a.k.a. Phony, BFF Report, Zam.com. What's the other website?
IamTheMikeV.com.
What's your Twitter?
At IamTheMikeV.
Follow this man. He does good work.
I try.
You do good work.
I don't have that voice that you have, though. I can't do the bing bong thing.
It's all right, man. You got skills.
It's terrible.
All right, man. Day 3. This is your first GDC, right?
My first, yes.
You're a San Francisco native. After all 3 days, everything you saw, what's like the highlight for you?
Yesterday I totally forgot to mention that, Terra and all these other ones that we had checked out. I heard you talking about it earlier today about, I guess you were not very impressed with it.
I won't say that I wasn't very impressed with it. I didn't see... I don't know. I'm always leery of the Asian MMO ports, to be honest. I played Ion for quite a while and actually really enjoyed Ion, but still it hit a point for me that I just didn't stick with it. They seem like they're doing some pretty cool stuff. The boss mob stuff about how you can dodge and kind of move out of the way seemed really cool. The fact that there's like a reticle on the screen instead of tab targeting and auto targeting seems very cool. You know what? It's funny. I don't know why. I totally slipped my mind as I did the interview and I watched him play it. I didn't play it. Did you play it?
We had the demo. We were able to play it and all that stuff. And then they brought us into the back room and they showed us kind of a breakdown of character customization and all that. So we got to see a pretty good amount of stuff going on there. What I like about it is the fact that, you have the reticule and all that stuff that allows you actually have to aim at what you're targeting, and you have to actually move. So I can't imagine what's going to happen when you get into like these big boss fights, these raids of X amount of people, 15 people, whatever. You actually have to have reflexes.
Right, people are actually moving around. It's not like everybody just stand over here, you guys stand over here, and we'll just kind of like play it from this circle around them.
Like my G15 is pretty much obsolete. I mean, it's already, but I mean, I can't just hit my macro, my G3 macro. Boom, okay. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Did you play it with the 360 controller at all?
I did. It did kind of have that. I guess you could say kind of that like God of War type feel, where you actually are in full control of your character. And I really didn't enjoy that personally. I played Global Agenda. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of my favorite MMOs right now, but it changes like every week. So right now, I like that game a lot. And one thing I really like about it is that you actually have to aim at things. You actually have to be on target.
Tell me about that, because I actually watched your Global Agenda review, and you weren't full on with it on your review. You were a little. I don't want to say disappointed, but I remember your exact thing was that you said it was right before it came out, right? And you said, I think I'm waiting for the magic patch. If there's going to be something that they drop a bomb on us and it's going to be like, this is going to fix a lot of stuff. They didn't do that, did they?
So we recorded that like February 8th. My buddy Rick, he was in there with me, and he's a big fan of Planetside, right? So he was looking forward to this game also. It's nothing like Planetside.
Right.
So what happened is that we got in there, and they want to release the pay model, the subscription model, but they haven't done it yet. And we assumed that it's because they haven't given us a reason to actually pay for it.
Right.
So while I like the game as a core, it doesn't quite have that I need to shell out money for this monthly.
So let me explain for people that don't understand. So Global Agenda is a sci-fi based MMO. It's more based around PvP and timed events and instance events with PvE and PvP. What Mike is talking about is you buy the game, I don't know if it's $40, $50, probably about $50,
right.
And you can play the game for free and not pay anything else. If you want to, but that doesn't have the persistence of the world territory domination of... Right. What do they call them?
It's called Conquest.
Right, that's called Conquest. What do you call groups in Global Agenda? Corporations, guilds?
Agencies.
Yeah. So Conquest is, I think, like...
It's called AVA. It's agency versus agency.
And that is like, what, $15 a month?
That's supposed to be a major part of it.
That's not out yet?
It is out, but you don't have to pay for it yet. So we're trying to get people involved in it, and they're tweaking it and everything and making sure that it's worth the money. And that's what I was saying in the review. I did like the game, and usually when I play these games, I do these reviews, I don't like to really give my opinion on them,
Right.
I just kind of like to point things out. In this one, I did like it, but I felt that, in order for... We need this big patch.
We need more.
Yeah.
To earn my $15 a month, it needed more. And that's what I had heard, is that the map selection was a little sparse right now.
Yeah, they have a lot of things that are planned to come up. They just released a patch recently, I want to say like last week or something, that had a few changes to it. Haven't had a chance to really go in there, check it out. I have like a level 25, so it's not like I only played it for like 6 hours and stopped.
Right.
But I do want to go back and see what they've added. But we just have to wait and see. I mean, there's so much they give you just with the game itself. I mean, really, if you just buy the game, you are getting I feel like you're getting your money's worth because you get a lot for them.
There's a lot of game for $50.
If you play Unreal Tournament, you're going to like this game.
Right.
But the Conquest thing is the only thing you have to really pay for.
And I watched Monty Sharma here from Vivox play it the other day. And what another thing I didn't know about it, which seemed really interesting, is that when he jumped into a PvE scenario with 3 other players, so it's 4 players, I had no idea they were timed.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool and was really funny. So he was playing what we did. I don't know if you saw, but he was playing with 3 of the Global Agenda devs back at home base, and they couldn't beat. They got wiped. They got to the end boss and they totally got wiped.
The curve is ridiculous. It's like you start off the first one, it's like okay, easy, and then like the third one, which is like maximum security. That's when all these bosses that you were normally fighting at the end of the previous ones are just like all over the map. You know,
it's just boss after boss after boss.
Well, yeah, so I'm level 25 in a maximum security, which is like I think the 3rd or 4th tier, and it does get ridiculously hard towards the end. And you only have a 15-minute time limit, which is good and bad. It's like some people feel like, you know, oh, I want to keep trying this boss, keep trying,
right?
But you just can't. That you have to do it 15 minutes and get out, or you're done. That's it.
And that's something that Monty loves about the game, is because he knows like he doesn't necessarily have a bunch of time to maybe do something a lot longer. He's got 15 minutes. He jumps in, goes through. He knows it's going to be 15 minutes long, and if they accomplish something, they do, and if they don't, he's done with it and he shuts it off.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was real. I interviewed Stu Chisholm from High Res back in Texas, and I was really fascinated by the game. I mean, it sounds really interesting. The Conquest stuff sounds really cool, in the sense that so the different territories of the map, it's kind of like broken out like a hex map, and you're going to be able to control different agencies will control landmass on the map. What sounded really cool was that you'd have to have different groups of people possibly playing different instances to do things inside of their instance to then unlock the ability for my group to do something.
Yeah, there's some kind of, so what they say is that you get like 60 versus 60 or something like that, which is a little misleading because what it is, you're sectioned off into 10 different or 6 different groups of 10 that can all affect each other by what they're doing on their particular square or whatever.
Right.
You know? So that's how they achieve the 60 versus 60 that they claim. I mean, I've done a couple AVA and all that stuff, Conquest stuff. If you ever played 10-6, it's like that same kind of concept where you could go and you could control all these different things, except for in this case you have 60 people that are helping you as opposed to just being by yourself.
Cool. So what was any big patches they put out? You said they put out a big patch. What are they doing? Are they listening to the community and really ramping this stuff up? And
they are actually listening to the community, which is great. And the fact that they pushed back the date because it's supposed to be the end of February, I think they were going to launch or change it over to a pay model. They pushed it back like until April. So that just tells you that, they know that it's not quite ready yet for people to have to pay for it. And I think that's cool. They're not just kind of out there trying to get a buck,
That is actually really cool. I did not know that. I for some reason thought the AVA was out there and they were charging. So that's actually really good to hear that they're listening to them because they know that they need a little bit more time to build that out. Cool. What else did you see on the showroom floor? So that's what you're playing.
Oh, man. What else did I see out here?
Did you get to play the Sony Move?
I did, yeah. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. The robot thing, it didn't do the robot. I was really disappointed in that. But otherwise, I was able to do my John Travolta. We're fine.
Are you a PS3 guy? Do you have a PS3? Is it something you would buy?
It's definitely something I would buy. I don't. So I started. This sounds ridiculous, but I started with the Wii. Why did I get a Wii? I don't know. I had a really good reason at first.
There's a drunken party reason.
Mega Man 9. That's what it was.
Oh, there you go.
Mega Man 9. And then I got an Xbox 360 for Halo 3. And then when I beat it in 4 hours that it takes, I was like, oh. So that's kind of it. Now my next step is obviously like a PS3. I want to get into God of War and all that.
God of War looks awesome.
It does. I did the review on Dante's Inferno, and I've never actually played God of War. I have a guy that I work with who is like a God of War freak, right? And so I basically grilled him and asked him all these questions and showed him some video of me playing Dante's Inferno, and he was like, yeah, that's the same. And then he looked at the controller map. He's like, that's the same controller that that I have on Gods of War. And so he even said that it's probably a good segue game, if you're waiting for Gods of War 3 and all that, know, at the time. But the game, I actually did like Dante's Inferno and that whole control and the way it works and all that. But
then you'll probably like God of War.
Exactly.
I was a big God of War player. I loved it. They were the first ones to kind of come up with that scheme, and there's a bunch of other titles out that are kind of sort of doing the same thing. People were asking earlier whether that looked as good as. Is this your buddy?
Yeah. Cody's grinding his shirt over there.
We got wipe. People grinding their nether regions to make us break. It's okay. Thanks.